Hey, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Make sure you go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from, who you a fan of. Let's get right into it, man. So details coming out about more things that happened at the Dolph scene. It seems like there was a lot of people who was following him, riding by in suspicious vehicles, people who was in the back of the Makedas cookies shop, exiting out the back, going to the businesses next door and all this stuff. So it was already people that basically got away because inside that Family Dollar, you know that it was two people who snuck out the back, the cookie shop that Dolph was at. Dolph was in the front, but these people who snuck out the back ended up slipping out the cracks and kind of like evading, getting away. They went into the Family Dollar and, started acting like there was customer shopping, got in line and just kind of hid with the crowd. And a lot of people was reacting at that moment like they was hiding and kind of like ducking down because they just heard so many, sounds coming out of the 50 shots and everything like that. So these two dudes that came out the back of the Makedas, they was in and basically involved with the young Dolph. So like they had tried to run out, and when they went into that Family Dollar, somebody had pulled up to the side, and it looked like they was trying to duck the cameras and everything like that. But one of the people that was driving by got them walking and going towards 901 Trigger Trey's car. It looked like the same Ford truck from the same one that he got. And so was a lot of people who was commenting saying that could have been 901 Trigger Trace because they was zooming in and looking closely and opening their eyes and realizing what was going on. So with that too, they said that it was multiple vehicles that was following Dolph that day. So when you really look at it, the main vehicles you already know is basically that truck that pulled up at the gas station. The people who was like in that truck or next to Dolph were right there. It was like gray or gold. And then they had the white Corvette following him. They had the Bentley truck following him. It was at least 5 to 6 people following that day. And that's how they knew to keep tabs on where he was at all times, because it was people tailing him. And if you don't know what being tailed is where a person who will follow you in traffic, but they will stay like 3-4 cars back, and they'll make sure they don't get right behind you, so you never notice that they were following you the whole time. And people would do this because maybe they was trying to figure out when Dolph was gonna go pick up money, if he was gonna go do something different, or they were waiting for the moment where he was slacking, or even until they got the green light, like, okay, you could go ahead and do this or do that. Or they were trying to lure him into coming to that restaurant, because at the end of the day, they knew he visited there once before. They told us on the news, and they told a lot of people that he felt comfortable there. So it's either they must have, had called the people at the cookie shop and told them, hey, to invite Dolph over to have him come in and say something, or that they got a new cookie flavor for him to try, because before that they did not have the Dolph cookie. And so maybe they could have called him and said, hey, we're gonna make a Dolph cookie, we want you to come and try it. And you never know, right? And allegedly, because these are the type of scenarios that could have led him to even show up to the place, where normally he does not show up there in his Corvette. He will only pull up there in that white truck and back into the parking spot. But this is different because now is Dolph's car. We see that it's pulled in forward, and we see that is at the place that he's been there before. But the thing is that we'd never seen him actually step out of the car, pull into the parking space or anything like that. The really only like recollection of Dolph being in that whip any time that was that day or before that day was the footage that came out of the gas station. And the girl on Facebook already said and already commented and told everyone in the captions that that was not the same day as him going to the cookie shop and then having the situation happen with the arm out the window. And so that's why it seems that it's some sort of skip in the story, because he still got that yellow shirt on. He still has the hat and the chains on, which is what they told us that he had that yellow shirt when everything happened at the cookie shop. And you seen that Bentley driving away, and you seen the two dudes running back into the coupe to peel off and get away and go to Bradley Street, where they ended up dumping the car to hide it, but somebody had already seen them. And that's how things was moving so quickly, because they got seen by everybody. And don't forget, Dolph is the king of Memphis. So if something happened to Dolph and they see the people that did it, and boom, 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 it's not surprised that the people who care about Dolph in their own city was gonna try to get the justice for Dolph, and and they themselves, they're not associated with any of the streets. They're not associated with any of the street groups. They don't pick a side. They just like Dolph for what he gives back to the community, his music, and all of those things that make him whatever, like a role model to them or their kids or whatnot, right? Now, you got to peep that basically when they had all these people following him, they had to have been following him when that gas station footage came out too. That's where that white Corvette came from, because you could see that in the background, and a lot of people were thinking that that's Moneybagg Yo Corvette, and he might have had one of the homies or whoever driving that allegedly. Now the thing is that how is it that he got the same clothes on from that footage at the gas station and then the stuff that happened at the cookie shop? That means he did not go home or something. They had to have snatched him up, because Dolph family, if you remember, the very, very first reports that came from the family before anything was the fact that they said they hadn't actually seen Dolph in 2 days. So him at that gas station getting gas and everything like that, that was probably 2 days before he actually ended up at the cookie shop. And they must have, after that gas station, they must have followed him to either the Ruth Chris, the Benihana's, some parking lot, or the community center somewhere. And that's where everything got lost in translation, because that's where he ended up being gone for that day and a half to 2 days, and then magically ended up popping up at the cookie shop. And it's like nobody ever saw no in-between or anything like that. And the fact that Snoop bands try to say that Dolph called him, and why didn't he answer? If Dolph called him, how come he said he answered for the first call, and that he said he was gonna come and scoop him and get ready for them to go do the music video. So if Snoop bands really did get that call, then that means that was like right before Dolph had gotten taken out. Now, a lot of people still think that they might have had Dolph's phone at that point and was randomly dialing and making it seem like he was calling people to make it seem like he was still around and okay that day, like he was making moves and calling people and communicating, right? So it could have been like kind of a charade setup to where they're trying to make it seem like he was up and about on the day before, but he could have really already been snatched up by people, and that they were just using his phone to make like missed calls appear on Snoop Band's phone, make a missed call appear on Key Glock or somebody, and that way they never think like, oh, okay, Dolph not around right now, he not answering nobody or something. If he act like he called them and had the missed call, anybody could do that with the phone. They could literally press your contact or dial your number or whatever, and then they can hang up after it rings once or twice. And then to other people's phone, it'll say that it was a missed call. So you think the person actually called you, and when somebody calls you, you would think that they moving under their own power and that they all right or something like that. And so that's what the trickery was because of the fact that they had Dolph's phone. Remember, there was a lot of things coming out about, if they found Dolph's wallet and phone in the bushes and the dumpster behind Makedas. They were looking everywhere to make sure every stone was unturned, because of the fact that they already knew the Cartier watch was missing. And the last person that really seen that was the firefighter dude, and we ain't never heard nothing ever since then. And so if you really open your eyes and look at what's going on, the details is connecting the dots themselves. And basically that day that everything happened is not adding up to exactly how it played out, because of the fact that dude was actually gone for at least a day and popped up in that cookie shop with the same clothes on from when he was at the gas station. So that only goes to tell you that that in between time was when all the people that was following him ended up making a move on him. And, whatever that move was they made ultimately ended up in basically making it to where he popped up randomly in the cookie shop with the arm out the window, just enough time for that Bentley to pull up and see everything going on. And, the people at the same time simultaneously running out the back door. It was reports saying they might have seen Blac Youngsta running across the yard. They might have seen Big Jook running across the yard. But at that time in the year, you know, people were still wearing hooded face coverings and everything like that. It was in the midst of everything that was been going on the last year or two. So what happens is that you couldn't really see it clearly, and it's only that you had to figure out where they was exactly, what their alibi is, and so it's still they're still getting talked to because they just talked to Big Jook, and he's gonna point them in the direction of the next person that they're gonna talk to, and we're gonna update the details as they continue to come out. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.